What's up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. In today's video we have got some new fish for the mini monster fish aquarium. Now I've actually had this tank set up for about 2.5 months, but you've probably only seen it come out about 6 weeks ago, something like that. But I've actually had these fish for well over 2 months now. It's just I've had lots of different videos coming out and this was queued from quite a long time back. Now the datnoids are doing really well in this tank. They've definitely put on some weight and some growth. They are a very slow growing fish, so it's going to take a long time to get them up to a decent size, but they're definitely doing well nonetheless. You may also notice that the scape's changed. I've actually just got one piece of wood in here just to give the fish a bit more space, and I've also got some Salvinia minima growing on the surface of the water to remove all of those organic pollutants. Without further ado, I've talked enough, so let's get our new fish and we can check out what we've got for the mini monster fish aquarium. So the first animal, not fish, that I've got for this tank is an apple snail. So in this bag we have a massive apple snail. This has got to be about 2 inches long. It's absolutely huge. So I'm putting this apple snail into the aquarium because I want it to keep all the algae under control, keep the algae that grows on the wood under control, and basically just be a little cleanup crew. Now I really would love to put it in the monster fish mega tank for it to clean up the algae on the wood and just to keep on with the algae, but I'm pretty certain that the arowana or the stingrays will have a good munch on him. But so for now he's going to go into this aquarium. So next up on the list of fish we got for this tank are actually a fish that I wanted to get since the beginning, and were one of the reasons I actually set up this tank. And you might not be able to see them too well, but these are albino threadfin acara, or albino hecklei, as you may know them. So these are white in color, and they're going to get an absolutely lovely gold color to them. I'd say these guys are about 2.5 inches, slightly bigger than the datnoids we've got. I'm just going to put them over there. So they were really one of the main reasons I actually set up this tank, because I'd love to have some in the big tank, but the arowana will definitely eat them, and the hampala barbs will definitely have a go at eating them as well. So I want to try and grow some out, see what I can do with them over the next few months, put a bit of size on them. And the last fish we are getting for this tank is the elephant nose fish. So another species I've never kept before. These are such a strange looking, unique fish. And these guys tend to get up to 8 to 10 inches. They can get bigger, but in captivity it can be quite rare for them to get that size. A really cool looking fish, and I thought they would look really nice in the mini monster fish aquarium. Now you may be thinking, you're adding 10 fish to this tank and an apple snail. Is this tank not a little bit too small? And yes, as I mentioned, I'm considering upgrading this in the near future, maybe getting a bit more of a scape going, bit more filtration, something a little bit bigger. So this is 110 litre. I'm thinking of going for maybe 200, 240, something like that. But I really do like this tank and growing out the mini monsters. So let's get these guys acclimated into the aquarium. We can release them and then we can check them out. I've just got the bags in the tank. You'll be able to see the fish probably a little bit better, but probably not with the light and the way it is. But we've got the 4 elephant nose, and we've got the 6 threadfin acara, and then we've also got the apple snail. So they're all acclimating at the moment. I'm probably going to give them about half an hour or so, then we can release them into the tank and then check them out and talk a little bit more about them. And now the fish have been acclimating for the past half an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour them into a bucket, which I've got just down there, into a net, and then I'm going to net them and place them into the tank, avoiding any of that water from the bag going into the aquarium. Now the fish are looking really cool. The elephant nose fish are really unique looking fish, and I can't wait to add them to the tank, see them all settle in. As I mentioned, the clown knife and the tiger fish are going very soon, so that's going to free up a little bit of space. The threadfin acara are going to sift through the sand, which is going to be helpful as a cleaner fish, and it's going to keep the sand bed a little bit cleaner, because currently I haven't got anything really that is moving that sand bed around. And also the apple snail is going to be a bit of a cleaner as well. So let's get them out of the bags, let's get them in the tank, and then we can check them out. So first to go in is the apple snail. I'm just going to drop him down to the bottom, and then I am going to remove the threadfin acara, and then we'll get those in the net. Stunning looking fish. They are quite small at the moment, but they are going to look absolutely amazing. And here the threadfin acara go into the aquarium. They are stunning colours, and I cannot wait to see those guys colour up. Absolutely beautiful. So last but not least, it's time for the elephant nose fish. Now I am going to take the elephant nose fish out of the tank, place them into the net and release them into the aquarium. And here they go into the aquarium. You're probably not going to be able to see them very well, but I'll let them settle in for a couple of hours, and then we'll get the lights on, and then we'll be able to check them out. But they are absolutely amazing looking fish. So we are now back, and the fish have been in the tank for about 5 to 6 hours now. So they've all settled in. You may notice I've actually decided to put another piece of the bogwood back in the tank just to give them a little bit more hiding spots. I'm also considering very, very soon upgrading this aquarium as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to make sure these fish are well looked after. I do obviously have other aquariums. I've got the monster fish mega tank behind you, and I've got a few more aquariums on standby if I need them. But the fish are all looking really happy. I've got some bloodworm defrosting up the top, so I'm actually going to be feeding them in just a moment. And also talking a little bit about the new inhabitants. The apple snail has been moving around a little bit. He's just decided to reside down here. So hopefully tomorrow he'll be cruising around the tank looking for algae. There's loads of algae that grows on that bogwood, so hopefully he'll have a good meal on that. But let's get some food in the tank. Let's check them out and talk a little bit more about the new species that we've got. Just about to pour the bloodworm into the aquarium. So that is going in now, and we'll see if the new fish will start to take it. So I'm probably going to move the camera a little bit further forward just so you've got a bit of a better view of the system. But it looks like we're definitely getting some of the fish starting to take the bloodworm, which is really, really good to see. And hopefully they'll become a little bit more boisterous and probably a little bit more aggressive feeding wise over the next few days. So talking a little bit about the albino threadfin acara, generally they're found in the Amazon River Basin, and I would say you need a tank of around 50 gallons, something about 240 litres long term for these fish. Now, these are only in a 110 litre aquarium, so this is definitely not going to be them for life, and I will be upgrading that soon. They can get to around 8 inches. They can get a little bit bigger, but generally speaking, albino fish do stay a little bit smaller, but these guys should reach around 8 inches, and I think they make really, really nice coloured tank mates in the monster fish mega tank. Now, I'd recommend keeping them between 24 and 28 degrees. I've got mine set at 26 degrees. They can be territorial, especially at breeding time, so it is best to keep them in a group or keep them in a larger aquarium if some do decide to pair off. They are an omnivorous fish, so you need to make sure you're including a nice high protein pellet, some live foods like bloodworms, and also a little bit of vegetable matter in their diet, maybe through algae pellets or an algae fortified pellet as well. Now, they are an egg-laying fish, and they do like to have a bit of cover, so providing them with caves or bits of bogwood like I've got in the tank is very important to make them feel safe and secure. And they can coexist with similar sized fish, just like the datnoids I've got in here and the elephant nose fish as well. So you've got to make sure there's nothing that's going to eat them, and likewise no really, really small fish as well, as when they get bigger they could potentially predate on smaller fish. But they should get a really, really nice gold colour to them. I'll put a little picture on the screen for you to see, and that will come through as these fish get older. But enough on the threadfin acara. Let's move the camera around a little bit, and let's maybe talk a little bit more about the elephant nose fish that we've got in the tank. So the elephant nose fish are a really, really unique fish, as you can see from the video today. They can get up to about 12 inches, but generally I would say they get between 8 to 10 inches in the home aquarium. It would be nice to grow them out and put them in the monster fish mega tank, but I'm not sure I'm gonna do that just yet. I might decide to just keep them in the grow out, make the grow out a little bit bigger and make that their permanent home, but we'll see how they get along with the other fish. Now these are a really, really unique and interesting species because they have an electrolocation sort of signal that comes out of their body, and they've got these electroreceptors that allows them to detect other electrical fields within the water, and it actually helps them to navigate and hunt in murky environments. Now they're not going to use this so much in clear tank like I've got, but in the murky waters in Africa where they come from, the Congo River Basin, they actually use these electrical receptors to find food and sort of navigate the water environment. Now they are a carnivorous species. They are not omnivorous like the threadfin acara, and they generally feed in the wild on invertebrates, insects and other really small fish. So feeding them a meaty diet, some frozen foods, some live foods is going to be best for them. They are known for their nocturnal behaviour and they're most active during the nighttime periods. Well, I found these are really, really active since adding them to the tank, but obviously this is their first day and they may settle in, become a little bit less active in the daytime, maybe hanging out in that bogwood a little bit more. They are social and they are best to be kept in either a pair or small groups, but they can be territorial, so I wouldn't keep just a couple unless they're a true pair, and I would go for at least 4 like I've got, or even more would be really, really good. Now these are actually a mouth breeding fish, and females carry the fertilized eggs in their mouth until they hatch, similar to like an African cichlid for example. Generally they live up to about 10 years, and the ideal temperature range again is about 24 to 28 degrees, very similar to the threadfin acara. And they can be kept with other peaceful fish species, but I wouldn't keep them with anything too aggressive or anything that's going to potentially predate on them. So that is the sort of info on these two fish. I'll probably just wrap up the video here. You can see all of that bloodworm has gone. The datnoids have had a really good snack, and so has the clown knife and the African tigerfish. And I'm really, really happy with how all of these guys have settled in. And that is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the new fish go into the aquarium. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. It'll be nice to see how these guys get along, maybe put a little bit of growth on. I'm definitely looking forward to growing on the datnoids and the threadfin acara to ideally place into the monster fish mega tank one day. It may take a long time, many, many months, but that would be the ideal scenario. And we'll see how we get along with the new elephant nose fish. Really unique species, as I said at the beginning of the video. Love trying out different species and trying new things. Obviously this channel is aimed at creating content, aimed at creating informative videos, and quite a lot of the fish I won't keep for a long time just because I like keeping those different species. But it will be nice to try and grow some fish out and maybe place them one day into the monster fish mega tank. But that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.